As many of you know, my bike is in the shop, and I have this rally up in Helen that I'm going to, that we're being sponsored to, so I can't miss it. So I am going to go rent a motorcycle, and we're going to review rider share on today's Graybeard Biker. So as many of you know, my Road King was in an accident and put in the shop relatively recently. And we were supposed to go to a rally in Helen, Georgia. So I needed a bike, and I decided to rent one using rider share. Now, let's delve a little deeper into how rider share works. It is very similar to Airbnb or Turo. Renters can browse through a list of available bikes within a certain area, message the people that own the bikes, and then send a booking request to rent the bikes. RiderShare also conducts digital checks for their renters. That's the people that actually own the bikes, to ensure safety and reliability in going through something like renting out your motorcycle. Now, as a Harley enthusiast, I was pleased to see a variety of HD motorcycles available on the RideShares platform. Now, I like to get something that I don't own whenever I rent a vehicle. Car, motorcycle, doesn't make any difference. And I was pleased to find that from touring bikes to Sportsters, they had all kinds of different Harleys. They also had Indians. They have, they have every make and model, depending on whatever's available in that area. Maybe you're looking for, an Indian. Maybe you're looking for a Triumph, a Norton. Who knows, right? You can look and see what's available in that area. The first thing that I did was filter out everything that wasn't a Harley Davidson or Indian, and then I chose from those. Like I said, they have a solid selection. And after browsing through everything in the Atlanta area, I settled on this lowrider. It looked like a big enough bike, similar to mine, but not the same as mine. I decided we'd check it out, see how it rides. I'd never ridden a lowrider before. Let's see what we can do. Now, one thing to be careful of is that the rental price isn't all there is. RiderShare also requires insurance to protect the motorcycle owners. So after choosing a bike based on the rental price, you then have the option to add on various insurance packages depending on your needs. But you will have to pick something, whether it's basic coverage or one of the more comprehensive protection packages. RiderShare is going to give you some flexibility in choosing the level of insurance and deductible that suits your needs best. But that being said, you do have to have the money available to cover the deductible before they will let you rent the bike. With my rental, my deductible was $2,000. So they immediately put a hold on that amount on my credit card until after my rental was closed. I didn't have to pay it because nothing happened, but if something did, they had already reserved the funds to cover it from your account. This is protection for the person renting the bike. So, before you book your rental, make sure to carefully review the insurance options and any other additional fees that may apply. While the base rental rate is transparently displayed on the website, adding on insurance and other services like they can rent you equipment and that sort of things, those are going to affect the total cost of your rental. And you won't see that until after you've chosen a bike and its daily rental rate. So know that there's going to be more coming after you click on that. It's all about really finding the right balance between the coverage that you feel comfortable with and the affordability that you have for your trip. And then making sure that you have enough to cover the insurance deductible that with whatever you choose. Now, with their comprehensive insurance coverage, you can feel very confident knowing that you're protected just in case anything does happen. How protected you are will depend on how much your deductible is. You'll see it when you go there and look. Now, some of the reasons why I've rented bikes before. My bike is in the shop right now. My bike is in the shop, or maybe your bike is down for some reason. That's my reason right now at this time. However, that was my reason in this particular case when going to Helen. But I'm also flying out to Texas next month to visit a friend of mine. And I'll rent a bike locally out there so that we can do some riding while I'm in town. And then the last reason I would say is you simply have an itch to try out a different bike other than the one that is yours. That's always fun. Again, I do the same thing with cars. If I'm going to rent a car, I am going to rent a car different than the one that I own, probably one that's more fun. Now, RiderShare also has a cancellation policy that allows you to cancel your booking or the owner to cancel the booking request with no penalty prior to it being approved. So if you make a mistake, if you click the wrong thing, if you select too much insurance, you can always go in, immediately cancel it, and then make another booking or whatever you need to know. Now, you're going to rent this bike. How do you know where to go pick it up? Well, once the owner sees your request and approves it, the renter will receive the owner's contact information, including the exact location that they need for picking up the bike. And if you can't make it to the pickup location, you can even have it delivered to you. There's usually a fee for that, but some owners will deliver the bike to you for a fee. In my case, the owner wasn't even there. He simply gave me his garage code. I went in, went through the checkout process, left, brought it back, same way. Very easy, no issues. Now, another thing that kind of stands out, though this is a little bit outdated, is that RiderShare, it has insurance options that aren't available if you're trying to rent from like Craigslist or something, right? So you are more protected using a service like this. With personal policies often not covering, renting motorcycles, RiderShare insurance will definitely cover your rental, which gives you peace of mind. And there's also several safety checks. Now, these safety checks it's a checklist. You are required to do an inspection of the bike and upload photos of certain areas and certain angles of the bike through the app so that the owner can't come back and say that you damaged something that was already damaged when you picked it up. And also so that the owner can prove that the renter did do damage that wasn't there before either. So it protects both parties doing this inspection. The app will also remind you to do things like check the oil level, check the gas level, check the tire pressure, check the tire wear, those sorts of things. Now, if you're thinking about listing your own bike on RiderShare, you might be wondering about the earning potential. Well, RiderShare allows you to set your own daily rental price with options to offer discounts for people that rent for multiple days and that sort of thing. You can also rent equipment like helmets, jackets, that sort of thing as well. Now, RiderShare is going to take a percentage of the rental price, but the rest goes straight into your pocket. I believe it's like 20 to 35% that's going to go to them, and the rest is yours. Now, that percentage is going to depend on how long you've partnered with them. If you are a power renter or power owner, whatever they call it, then you get a higher percentage than if you're new. But before you book your rental or list your bike, it's essential that you understand the different requirements that RiderShare has. All renters must be 21 years of age and or older, and they must have a valid motorcycle endorsement on their license. And they have to meet other criteria that are outlined in the terms of service. And for those with motorcycle license from outside of the country, right? You're a foreigner visiting the United States. You don't have to worry about it. They will still allow you to rent a motorcycle. You just have to, check the correct country when you're checking out of wherever you're licensed from. So specifically, my rental experience this time, it was a little different. The owner was out of town. So he gave me his address, gave me his garage code so that I could just go in and pick up the bike and didn't even have to meet him. I still had to go through the inspection checklist, take all the pictures to make sure that I was protected, that sort of thing. And then I simply took the bike out for the weekend, brought it back, checked it in the exact same way. So that's a little different. The other thing that I will say about this particular experience is the owner said certain things on the profile that weren't necessarily true when I went to rent the bike. Let me explain. He said he had 90% tire tread. Well, he probably put that in there when he first listed the bike, and then he never changed it. Because when I got to the bike, there was nowhere near 90% tread left on the rear tire. It was pretty worn down. However, I was able to, during my inspection, disclose this to RiderShare so that I was still protected. The bad thing is, if I had decided to refuse to rent it at that time, I would have been allowed to cancel, I'm sure, based on the fact that the bike didn't meet expectations. However, I'd have been without a bike. So I would have had to find something else in a last minute situation, and so I did not do that. But again, that's not the rental company's fault. It is a safety precaution, really, that the rental company has put in there to protect me as the renter. But there were no issues with renting it at all. The owner was very nice. He was very communicative, all via text messaging back and forth within the app. We actually sent each other photos and so forth via text message outside of the app as well. And everything went well. At the end, you give the owner a review. The owner gives you a review that goes on your portfolio for other people, kind of like eBay, to check you out when they consider allowing you to rent their bike, or if you're considering to rent their bike, right? Now, if you're interested, I have a link where you can save $25 off your rental. By being a part of the Graybeard Biker community, you can save some cash on your next rented motorcycle adventure through RiderShare. And it helps support us when we go places where we can't take Alchemy for one reason or another. So you can visit ridershare.com/user/this big old long conglomerate of letters that don't actually make a word. But I'll put the link in the description so that you can just click on it. Now, if you are curious and want to know more about this 2018 lowrider that I rented, that episode is going to be here once it's finished being edited. And it will be the last one that's from our line of episodes that we've gotten from our Helen adventure. So that's it for today. It's the end of our overview and review of our experience with RiderShare. Whether you're looking to rent a bike for your next adventure, or you're looking to earn some cash by listing your own bike, RiderShare is something you might want to consider. Be sure to check them out, ridershare.com. Again, you can use the link that's in the description and the first comment below, and you can start planning your next ride today. So, ride safe out there, stay free, keep it shiny side up.